Hiya, and welcome to Ken's Veg Patch. The days are drawing in now and it's getting very autumnal and winter's just round the corner. In fact, we've had a weather forecast this week that I think it's going to be a cold weekend with first Arctic blast. So even though people aren't going into the gardens and there's not much going on, there is a lot to do, and as I've said before, this is the start of the growing season. So in this video we're going to do three things. We're going to plant some garlic, which you always plant in October, November. We're going to sow some broad beans, and I'm going to show you the best way to get a very early lot of new potatoes. So I think that's enough for now. So if you want to come to Ken's Veg Patch, Mr. Cameraman, we'll go through the gate. Right, garlic. This is what we're going to plant. These are the bulbs that we grew last year. There's two types of garlic. There's soft neck and hard neck. It gets a bit confusing. They both got the qualities, but I've tried them both and I always grow soft neck. So these are both soft neck variety garlics. This one's called Germidor. I think this is a British variety, and this is called Thermidor. This I know is a French variety. They're both very good. This one seems to have the biggest cloves on. So what we do, we get last year's garlic, and to produce the pieces we need, we actually just pull them apart, as you would as if you were cooking, I suppose, really, but pull them apart, tease them apart, try not to bruise them too much, and you'll, well, as you know, if you peel garlic, it does vary in sizes, so that's what we've got off one. Well, we'll just do it with this one anyway. Then we need to, that's the dodgy one, I'll tell you, that looks like a nice big fat clove, but actually, if you get your nail like that, that's two pieces, and that's a bit deceiving, that's two small ones. So what we need to do is pick these large pieces out here and leave the other ones on one side. We're not going to waste them because these are the ones we'll use when we're cooking anyway. So we need, I've worked out that we probably need approximately 50 bulbs of garlic, because we tend to use one bulb a week. And so we're going to grow, I think, something like 58 bulbs of garlic this week. So we'll pick these out and we'll plant some, and we'll finish planting when we're off film, and you can see the finished product next time we do the filming. We've got the bed ready. This bed grew potatoes last year, so we're okay putting an onion variety in. Crop rotation is very important, and we'll be talking about that later on. The other thing with garlic, it needs plenty of air around it, because the one big problem around here is garlic rust, and I must hold my hand up, we get it every year, and it does curtail the size of the crop. So you need a good spacing to let as much air go around it and then not create this humid atmosphere that rust lives in. So on this one, I've decided, if you look in all the brochures and the books and the seed catalogues, say about 6 inches, so I've just made a staff there to give me an idea of the correct spacing. We're giving it 6 inches that way, so we've got 7 pieces this way, 8 pieces that way, so 7/8 of 56, that should do us. And it's so simple. The only important thing you must remember is that there's a top end and a bottom end. That, the blunt flat piece, that's the bottom end, and the top end, of course, is the pointy bit. Just check everyone as you do it, and there's nothing to it at all. You just get your bulb of garlic. This is very soft soil, you might have to make a bit of a hole with the trowel, but I just push it in so that the top's about an inch below the surface, like that. That's all there is to it. Try not to bruise it too much as you do it, but That's right. The other thing is as well, if you plant it like that and you've got sparrows, they come down and they love pulling it out and leaving it on the surface when it should be growing, so always make sure that little bit's in the ground. So that's a nice big fat plum one, that'll be a good head next year. And one more. We don't need that now. And that's the first row. Bit of a tickle with the rake after. And when these finish filming, I'll go and do the rest of them. And that's the garlic bed. The other side of the bed, I'll probably put my red onions in next year, because I like lots, we'll give them a tight spacing, and I'll have lots of little red, just bigger than golf ball sized red onions, ideal for barbecuing. So that's in the other side of the bed, so it'll all be onions, and then the year after we can put something in that's non-onion. Right, that's the garlic in, or it will be by the time you see us next time. The other thing to do this time of year is to get the broad beans in. In the old gardening books, it was always a good gardener that could produce a dish of broad beans on Whit Sunday. Personally, I don't think broad beans are that nice really, but we always grow a few. And last year we discovered a recipe, broad beans with mint and serrano ham, and it's absolutely gorgeous. They serve it as a tapas dish, so I think I'm going to go for it this year with broad beans. Now, with broad beans, I've saved my own seed. That's a broad bean seed pod, and all you do, you pod them, that's your broad bean seed. So I saved seeds, that's my runner bean seeds for next year, and that's my climbing French bean seeds for next year. So you don't save a fortune, but at least you can select it from the plants that seem to grow best, and hopefully you end up with better plants. So getting back to the broad beans, 2 weeks ago when we decided to do this video on what we were doing, I got my broad bean seeds podded and soaked them. I think most kids do that. Well, kids used to do this at school, and this works for me because, as you can see, the ones that weren't going to succeed have actually died there. These are ones that we would have discarded, but the ones that have succeeded have got a nice little root on, so we know these are going to grow. And if you look, that one there, it's actually starting to throw, it's called the cotyledon leaf, that. So these are the successful beans out of all those. So this means that if you sow them and next spring you've got gaps in where the ones didn't germinate and the mice have ate the odd one, these I can guarantee everyone will grow. So all we do with these, 3-inch plant pot, they need to be sown about 2 inches deep. So we'll just put a small amount of soil in there, and then select one, we'll get one with a, that's nearly done there, pop it in there, cover it up in. This soil is not a very rich soil, it's one that I've actually let down and made it weak, because we don't want this enormous flush of growth and broad beans growing like grapevines and huge things and soft. These little characters have got to go all through a hard winter, so we want them to put a good spurt of growth on and then just become really tough, hard plants that will withstand the winter, and they'll stay more or less semi-dormant until spring, in where we'll plant them and they'll romp away and be perfect plants. So I'll finish the rest of these when we're not on film, and the next time we see us, there should be, we'll probably only grow 12 or 15, that's enough for our needs, but I always hope that they're all through by then, and it'll appreciate that spring, although a long way away, is coming our way anyway. Incidentally, if you saw the last video, we left it when we were digging the potatoes, and I did say we didn't really know what kind of a crop we were going to get, but this is a result of 3 of these beds. We grew all these potatoes in 3 of these beds, and actually we harvested these in August, So we have had two and a half months of supply out of them. There's the varieties we mentioned. There's the Maris Piper over here that had a lot of small ones, but they suffered badly from scab, so I don't think we're going to grow them again. This is my favourite, the Meribel. This absolutely, it's gorgeous. It just tastes like butter without putting butter on. That was a good one. These two are Meribel, although there's three Meribel. This is Estima that absolutely excelled itself. And this is Desiree, the waxy one we mentioned. And this is what's left of the Estima, these two sacks there. So this should keep us going quite happily until next May, I would think, when the potatoes are finished. But the next thing I'm going to show you is how to make sure we've got the new potatoes to take over when these finish. And as we manage it, we've got homegrown potatoes for 12 months of the year. So we'll go back inside the greenhouse now, and this is just a little bit, but I'll show you, this is the start of next year's new potatoes. Right, that's the garlic done, the broad beans are done, so that's 2 crops for next year. Possibly the most exciting one of the lot though is the simple potato. You saw the bags outside of the potatoes we grew last year. This is one called Mirabelle, and I've just selected these out. These are the, you take every potato out of the ground, but these are the ones that's going to be the seed potatoes. And what we're going to do with these is a process called chitting. You might have read about it, most people have heard about it, but all it is, you get the potato that's dormant now. It'll stop like that till next year if it's kept cool. But we're going to put these in gentle warmth, that's in a garage or a nice unused room, and we're going to expose them to the light. So instead of being this nice mellow colour, they'll go green, totally unedible, but hopefully you'll get little shoots coming out of them. I want these to have shoots on them by the end of November, so that gives me about 6 weeks. And when they're like that, I'll pot these so that the shortest day is on December the 21st, and if they're potted, I would like to think that I've got pots with the potato inside and just an embryonic shoot ready for next year, and that's going to be our new potatoes. Not last year because we had the beast from the east, which was a bad cold spring, but the year before we actually had new potatoes on the 28th of March. That's weeks before the jerseys arrive, and when they do arrive they're probably about £3 a pound, and we had new potatoes like this all the way through till August when we dug the main ones up. So as I said before, we've got our own potatoes 12 months of the year, we don't buy them at all. So this is so simple. All you do, and I'm sure a lot of you will know about this anyway, you get your discarded egg boxes and just pop 6 in each one. It just keeps them from rolling about and knocking the shoots off if anybody shakes them around. That's all you need to do. You put those in light and a little bit of heat, and they will start the process. The next time you see these, they should be green, but hopefully there'll be the little shoots growing, and that's when we will plant them in little pots before they go in the big pots to get the early potatoes. Right, well, that's the garlic and that's the broad beans done. It's got the new potatoes ready, so that's 3 things that are in place already for next year. The next video we do will be the November one, and obviously it'll be nearly pitch black everywhere. There's not a lot you can do. We've done most of the things we can do at this time of year, but what I'm going to do is one of the beds, I'm going to show you the correct way to dig it and dig manure in, and to prepare a bed for next spring. All these, there's about 14 raised beds, they'll all need to be ready for next spring. We'll do that, and then another thing that can be done in November is make a detailed plan of what you're growing and the reasons for where you're growing it. It all involves crop rotation, direction of the sun, the wet beds, the dry beds. It can be quite a complex thing, but if you've got the plan to go at, it makes everything so much easier next year. So we'll do that, and then we'll be ready for a good start next year. And so, see you next time at Ken's Veg Patch.